Hello, happy Monday. Give me a moment as I go live everywhere. We are going to be talking about color. So tell me where you're watching me from. Say hi. You can see me. Here we go. And we are live. So welcome. Happy Monday. So we are getting close to Christmas. I'm so excited. I have so much fun stuff coming up, and I have my gift guide linked in this video, and netamanley.com/gift guide will get you to all of my best and favorite holiday recommendations. So if you're looking for that, I wanted to say that. If you're looking for any last minute gift ideas, I know I love it when people say last minute gift ideas when I'm just getting started shopping. So as far as I'm concerned, you're just in time. Like, we have plenty of time to do our holiday shopping. Okay, so today I want to talk about color. I've gotten a lot of questions about color. Everyone always has questions about color. And I will say that color was that thing that I had to train myself in. It did not. Good morning. Someone else from Florida. It did not come naturally to me, seeing the distinctions in color. So if I can do it, you can do it. Now, of course, I've had a lot of training. I am a color expert. I have done thousands of color analyses, and so I have a lot to say on the topic of color, and I will do more of these because I can't cover it all in one video. But I wanted to kind of show you how you can train your eye to find your best colors. So first of all, let me give you a quick overview of the color system that I use. In the color system that I use, there are 6-ish categories. There is deep and light, there is soft and clear, and then there is warm and cool. Only the warm and cool ladies are not neutral. Everyone else in the system that I use are neutral. So when you look at whether, how your understanding of color really should be based on the color characteristic that is the most important to you. Like, that should be your first filter when you're looking at color. Am I deep, or am I light, or am I soft, or am I clear, am I warm, or am I cool? That should be your first filter. So just kind of wanted to give you that overview of the way that I see color and how I do color analysis. I also have a kind of a rare kind of unicorn 7th type, but I won't get into that for the purposes of this video because it's a little bit confusing. But let's look at how we can train our eyes to find the colors that are going to bring out our best. Because before anything else happens, color happens. Like, it's the very first thing that people see is whatever you're wearing closest to your face. So that color that is close to your face is going to either detract from your beauty, or it's going to add to your beauty. It's either going to make you look rested and make you look bright and make you look refreshed, or it's going to make you look washed out. It's going to make you look tired. It's going to make you look drained. So we want color to work for us. We don't want to have to work extra hard. Good morning, everybody. We don't want to have to work extra hard to make colors that don't work for us look better. So the purpose, and I was recently asked about this on a live. Someone asked me, well, do you think color analysis is out of style? Does it really mean anything? Does it make sense? It's like, color analysis isn't out of style any more than clothing or lipstick or anything else is out of style. If you wear color, you need to know what colors work for you. So it's not a trend-based thing at all. So what you want instead to ask yourself is, how can I use it to serve me, and how important is it? The way that I see it is, when you wear your best colors, everything else is easier and you don't have to work as hard. And raise your hand, say easy if you want style to be easier. Like, just comment easy, because if you want it to be easy, if you want to dial it in, if you don't want to have to do as much after you're dressed to make yourself look your best, if you don't want to have to try as hard with makeup and with all the other things to look your best, then color becomes really, really important, because color can create that flattery that makes everything else work better, work easier. Thank you, guys. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is understanding the basics of color temperature. So this is what started this. Somebody asked me, how do I know if a color is warm or cool? The first thing you want to do is you want to invest, it's only like $8 or $9, in a color wheel. Now, color wheel shows all the colors, and it's divided up by warm colors and cool colors. So these are the warm colors, these are the cool colors. That's the most basic version of it. Are there warmer blues and warmer greens and cooler blues and cooler greens? Yes. But in general, pinks, purples, blues, and some greens are going to be cooler, and then reds, oranges, yellows, and some greens are going to be warmer, right? So color wheel is the easiest way to start training your eye for a color. Now, I love this one. This is available on Amazon. It's called the Rainbow Color Selector. And what's interesting about it is that you can see all the different gradations of each color here. Now, when you're looking at warm versus cool, the thing that you want to remember, just say you're like, is this green warm or is it cool? Is this green warm or is it cool? Is this green warm or is it cool? Your eye sees color relative. In other words, it's very hard to look at a red and know if it's a warm red, a cool red, or a neutral red. Instead, compare that red to another color, especially another red, and you're going to see which one is warmer, which one is cooler, which one is more neutral. So if you look at the greens here, you might look at, one of these greens and have no idea whether those greens are cool or warm at first glance. You just look at these colors by themselves. Are they cool? Are they warm? Who knows? Who knows, right? It's hard to tell unless your eye is trained. But then you look at these greens next to each other, and you can tell very clearly that these are cooler and these are warmer. This green has a little blue mixed in. This green has a little yellow mixed in. So color needs to be seen relative to each other. Little illustration, I was in the checkout line at Marshall's with my daughter, and we saw some red nail polishes, and I was like, I need a new red nail polish. And actually, I need to do another coat, but I need a new red nail polish. And the first one I picked up, she was like, that looks like a little pinkish red. And I was like, yeah, it does. And so how did I choose a red nail polish? I compared the red nail polish that I ended up buying to another red nail polish that was on the shelf. So this is a more true red. This is a more orange red. I don't know if you can tell in here. They look very similar on camera. But the way that I pick a red nail polish, the way that I pick a red lipstick, the way that I pick a pink lipstick, the way I pick any color, especially the ones that are hard to distinguish, is by comparing it to another color in that same category. So comparing reds, comparing pinks, comparing blues, you're going to see which ones are warmer, which ones are cooler. You want to compare these colors side by side. A green next to a blue is going to feel warmer if it leans yellow, or cooler if it leans blue. So staying in the same color family, comparing colors, it's an easy way to train your eye in the basics of color temperature. And then, like I said, highly recommend getting one of these color wheels. I will bring this out again in this video. Next thing I want to talk about is how to tell the difference between muted colors and clear colors. This is something I get asked about a lot. And as a definition, we can talk about colors with words, but unless we see it, it doesn't mean as much to us. So the definition, though, of muted colors is that they are colors that are softer, often with a little bit of gray or brown mixed into them, to soften them, to mute them, to make them look faded. Examples of muted colors are sage green, dusty rose, mauve, slate blue. Those are all muted colors. Now, bright colors are pure pigment colors. They're highly saturated and they don't have anything. So you take the true red, you take the true green, you take the true blue. Those are bright colors. Those examples of that include lemon yellow, royal blue, bright red. These are all saturated clear colors. So again, how do you tell the difference between a muted color and a saturated color, a clear color? You look at them side by side. So I'm going to hold up some muted colors so you can see what muted colors look like. These are all colors that are muted down with shades of brown or gray. So you can tell that these are, if you look at them like this, that they all look like they belong in the same color family, right? They all have that same softer, more muted, more faded look. Now I'm going to hold up some clear colors, some bright colors, so you can kind of see the difference between clear colors and muted colors. These are clear colors. Notice that all of these colors look like they belong together. They are all muted. They are all bright. They're all saturated. Now I'm going to hold them up next to each other. Bam. You guys don't need to see me. Look at the colors, right? What a difference it makes to see the clear colors next to the soft colors. Now, when you're looking at choosing a color, if you've determined, if had a color analysis and determined that you're softer or determined that you're clear, what you want to do is you want to take your swatches, or you want to take an item of clothing, a scarf or a blouse or whatever that has your colors in it, and you want to hold those colors up against the colors that you are looking at wearing or buying or wearing, to determine if the colors that you want to buy are your best colors. So for example, if I were going into a store right now and I was looking at the blouse that I'm wearing and trying to decide, as someone who can wear bright saturated colors, trying to decide if this blouse was bright and saturated or if it was muted, what would I do? I would take my swatches and I would hold the swatches up to what I'm wearing, and I would use that to say, oh, look, this is a saturated color. This is a clear color. This is a color that's going to work for me. Now, I could hold up the red here and be like, this color is not as rich, as bright, or as vibrant as the color that I'm wearing, the color of this shirt. So I would say, oh, okay, if I was looking for a more muted color, this isn't going to work as well for me. So again, comparing the color in one palette, like a specific color in one palette with a specific color in another palette, can tell you so much. So let's look at the reds. This is the bright red. This is the muted red. It's going to be hard on camera, but this is a muted red. This is a brighter red. So you really want to compare the colors next to each other, and you want to use your swatches to find colors that are in the same family, You are not looking, if you're going shopping and you've got soft coloring, you're not going to say, oh my goodness, I need this exact shade of teal. If I don't find this exact shade of teal, I've got to walk away from that outfit. No, instead what you're going to do is you're going to say, does the color that I'm looking at, just like I did with this blouse, does the color that I'm looking at look like it belongs with these other colors? Do they look related? Do they look like they're in the same family? Do they belong? Or does it look like, oh, where did that come from? Again, you look at my shirt does not look like it's related to any of the colors here. So if I hold up the pattern of my shirt, does not look like it's in the same family as these colors. So you know that these are two different color types, right? So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for colors that are related to your color palette, not exact matches. Okay, thank you so much. Nice to see you from Slovenia. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is observing undertones in neutrals. So I hate the misconception. I hear it all the time that neutrals just work on everybody. Neutrals just work on everybody. If they're neutral, then they work on you. So, okay, someone said, what do you do if you were told you were a soft spring, but like the gravitas of autumn more? So there is variety in each of the color types. So when we say, a clear wears brights and a soft wears muted colors, that's a simplification. There are rich, warm colors in the soft color palette. And there are, neutrals and lighter colors in the clear color palette. I would, if you liked richer colors, I would go for the richer colors in your palette. This is what I did when I transitioned from my all over the place fashion victim, wear whatever I like without any attempt at matching or harmonizing with my skin tone, to transitioning to my deep color palette. I was like, okay, but I like pinks. I like this color. I like that color. I found a version of that color that worked for me. So I would say whatever, within the framework of your color palette, find a version of your best colors. I will always say that. Nobody wants to wear colors that they don't like. I'm not much of a blue person when it comes to clothes. I like reds, pinks, oranges. So I pick those shades from my color palette. And I found a pink that works for me. I found a red that works for me. So there's a version of almost every color that's going to be your best version of that color. I hope that helps, because we've all been there. Okay, so like I said, I was saying neutrals are tricky because people like to say, and I hear it drives me crazy when I hear, oh, neutrals work for everybody. Everybody looks good in neutrals. Yeah, everybody looks good in specific neutrals, but not neutrals in general. Just because it's a neutral doesn't mean it works for you. Case in point, if I wear camel, I look tired, I look sick, and I also look naked because it matches my skin tone. I love camel. Camel doesn't love me back. It's a toxic relationship. So we have to choose our best neutrals. It's not just neutrals in general. And just because basically the definition in fashion of neutrals doesn't mean that neutrals match you, it means that neutrals match each other. A neutral color will go with any other color. Whether it goes with you or not is the next step. I will answer that question, Carol. That's a great question. So neutrals go with each other, and you need to find your best neutrals. Now, if you've got clear coloring, you're going to want black and white as your best neutrals. If you've got soft coloring, you want more muted neutrals. You want, you want blues, you want grays, you want browns, you want creams. So finding your best neutrals is really important. And then finding the temperature of the neutral becomes especially important if you're warm or cool. If you're not warm or cool, there are other characteristics of neutrals that are going to be more important for you. So warm neutrals include warm ivories, warm beiges, camel, and warm taupe. So neutrals, that's a great question. What are neutrals? Neutrals are colors that go with all the other colors. So they are cream, beige, black, navy, gray, and brown. Those are essentially the neutrals. Variations on blue, black, gray, brown, beige, or white. So I always say find your best version of black. That can be chocolate brown, it can be navy, it can be charcoal gray, or it can be black. Find your own best version of white. That can be creamy yellow white, it can be ivory, it can be bright white, it can be optic white. So you want to find your version of your best dark neutral and your best light neutral. And then for medium neutrals, we've got beiges, taupes, medium grays, medium blues. Some people would put olive in this category. Olive is a near neutral. So neutrals are colors that go with all the other colors. That's what defines a neutral in fashion sense, right? It does not mean neutral in color analysis sense. Neutral in color analysis sense means that a color is balanced between warm and cool. That means it's got equal parts warm and cool. And because of that, the color itself is neutral. But when we're talking about fashion, we're talking about the colors that you see in all the capsule wardrobes. And so what I was saying is that capsule wardrobes where they're like, oh, just, everyone can wear white and black and beige. Actually, most people that wear white and black really well don't wear beige really well. And so those color combinations often are not going to be flattering. Yes, all those colors are neutral. That doesn't mean they're your best neutrals. So warm neutrals, again, ivory, beige, camel, warm taupe. Cool neutrals, white, gray, charcoal, cool taupe, black, those are going to be, navy, those are going to be cool neutrals. So if you want to see if a neutral is warm or if a neutral is cool, if you want to see whether that white is a warm white or if it's a cool white, we've all done this with wall color probably in the past. It's so hard to get that white right? So if you want to know what that is, it's really helpful to have a color wheel or a color palette where you know that the item, or a piece of paper where you know that the item that you're looking at is a bright white, and compare the white that you're looking at to the bright white item. So take a piece of paper, take a color palette, take a fabric swatch that you know is bright white, and use that to choose the other whites in your wardrobe if you're looking for, to decide whether a white is warm or cool. Okay, so using natural light is really important when you're looking at color. That's the next thing I want to say. The older I get, the more I appreciate natural light, because light is going to help you distinguish between warm and cool colors, between soft and clear colors. Okay, you want to train your eye with tools. This is why I definitely recommend having a color palette in your wardrobe and having a set of swatches in your wardrobe. If you have not had color analysis done, comment color and I'll send you information on how I can do a color analysis for you. Something I do, like I said, I've done thousands of them. The next thing I want to talk about is, first I want to answer Carol's question about where does berry fit. Berry is, I would call berry plum in some definitions, but there are colors like plum or berry, like teal, that are universal colors. Like navy, especially French navy, that are universal colors. These are colors that work for everybody. So plum and berry are universal colors. They are neutral and they are medium and they work for everybody. And teal is another one of those colors that just works for everybody. It's neutral and it's right there in the middle and it works for everybody. So that's the category that berry falls into. It really, there's a version of it on everyone's color palette, but those colors, berry, plum, teal, are universal colors. The next thing I want to talk about is really kind of paying attention to, if you're trying to train your eye, especially for warm or cool, you want to pay attention to kind of what happens in nature. You know, the reason that the 4-season color analysis came about is because, thank you, Carol, I'll send you information about it. The reason that 4-season color analysis came about is because if you look at the colors in nature in that season, you're going to see the colors of your color palette. So winter is crisp and bright and icy, and you know, autumn is rich and you know, rich and kind of dramatic and warm. So that's kind of how that came about. So really kind of observing colors in nature can be a really easy way to find that distinction between warm and cool colors. It's also true with muted and bright colors. So if you're trying to see if a color is bright, hold it up next to a muted color. If you're trying to see if a color is muted, hold it up next to a bright color. If you want to try to see if what a warm color looks like next to a cool color, put them next to each other and you're going to see like a really sharp contrast. So it's the difference between colors that you're looking for when you're trying to train your eye between warm and cool or soft and clear. Okay. Finally, take those daily pictures. I'm going to say it again and say it again and say it again and say it again. When you are wearing color, take those daily pictures. Every time I wear red, I get a comment on how I look in red. Red is my signature color, but that wasn't an accident and it wasn't arbitrary. I picked red because red picked me. Red loves me. Red makes me look rested and refreshed. Red makes, it suits my personality. Yes, it suits my personal style 100%, but it also makes me look rested and refreshed and alive and glowing and all of the things that I want to look. So you need to pick a color that loves you back. And taking those daily pictures is going to be the easiest and quickest way of knowing what colors work for you and what colors don't work for you. Case in point, I bought a suit that looked hot pink on the website. But when it arrived, I could tell that the suit was not that saturated hot pink color that I was looking for. It was a bit more of a muted pink. And I was trying to work with it and I put it on and I was wearing a black top and I was wearing a bright white top, but the pictures did not lie. When I wore that suit, it was very obvious that the pink wasn't the intensity that I needed to match my coloring. It was more muted. And so it wasn't really a hot pink at all. I will tell you another example. I just happen to have them here on my desk. I've worn these glasses a couple of times, but only when no one's looking, because I bought these glasses thinking that they were a hot pink. Now you can see the saturation level of these glasses next to the glasses I'm wearing. This is a saturated, bright, vibrant color. This is a little bit more of a muted color. This would be a great hot pink for someone with soft coloring or someone with light coloring. It is not a hot pink. It is a pink with a little bit of white or a little bit of gray mixed into it. It's muted. So sometimes, unfortunately, the screen lies when you're buying things online. So always look at all of the pictures that they have of the item, all of the variations and all of the different, ways that they have to see the color, read the reviews, because color can sometimes not translate clearly on camera. So that's it. I just wanted to kind of give you some encouragement and some tools. Again, this is the rainbow color selector. I'll try to link it below. It's from Amazon. It's like $8 or $9, and it's such a useful tool to have. But as you're training your eye, look around, ask yourself questions about colors, use the tools, use palettes, use your color wheel, and start training your own eye to see your own best colors. At the end of the day, you don't need to be a color expert. You don't need to know how to do color analysis for everybody else. You just need to find your own best colors. And it becomes much easier when you've got a color palette to identify your own best colors and to stay away from colors that don't serve you if all you're doing is you're focusing on finding your colors. You're going to become like a detective. You'll be able to spot your own colors anywhere and everywhere you look, and you'll be able to find them easily. So I hope that was helpful. Love you guys. Thank you so, so much. Comment and ask me any questions that you have about color. We can continue this conversation in the comments. Bye.